Let's bring in Todd McShay, ESPN NFL draft analyst. Come on in, Todd. How are you?
You're all worked up this morning, huh?
Well, being from Cincinnati, people think that, you kick us when we're down. I'm just analyzing this situation. And let's say you're Joe Burrow's agent. What would you tell your client right now? What would you consider?
Personally, I would tell him just to get drafted where you're drafted and go play.
Okay.
But I could understand if you looked at the big picture and tried to force something else. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I really don't, especially with Joe being from the state of Ohio. I think think about a year ago. I had him as a fourth, fifth round pick, and he was transferring to LSU, and he felt fortunate to just get from Ohio State to LSU. He was like fifth on the depth chart at Ohio State. And now to have the opportunity to be the first overall pick and to be a player that's going to wind up getting guaranteed $34 million over the next 5 years, it kind of doesn't matter where you go. And especially if you're going to be in the state that you grew up in, I think he should take some pride in that and go and try to be the guy that turns around the Bengals and brings them to, back to the playoffs and has success with them. But who knows what's going to happen? And
I'm all for that, though, Todd. I hope he honors that and goes number one and goes to Cincinnati. I like that. I admire that. If you want to go and you want to start something, you want to create something, you want to build something. Oh, I'm all for that. It's just I don't know what his mindset is. I don't know what the people behind him or Lee Steinberg are going, yeah, of course he's going to go there. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm wondering, is there a team that would want to go up and get Joe Burrow? Is there a team with the draft capital that would say, would Miami go up and get Joe Burrow?
Miami's interesting because they've got 3 picks in the first round, obviously. So they have the capital to do it. But if you're the Bengals, why do you make that deal? And I thought about this last night because, everyone knows that they try to save money, right? And they try to run it as a business and make money off of this organization.
Yeah.
And apparently making money is just as important, if not more important, than winning. So if you have a quarterback that you can pay $34 million over the next 5 years versus, some guys are making $30 million close to a year, So I don't know why you just don't stay at home at number one and take Joe Burrow and see where it goes from there, and hopefully he can bring you a lot of success. Why move back and play around with it and wind up with 3 first-round picks or 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick, whatever the deal would be, and still not have your quarterback? So if I'm the Bengals, the only thing to me that makes sense is to draft Joe Burrow.
And, when teams talk about, well, they got a lot of draft picks, I want to know who's making the picks. There's only one Ozzie Newsome here. And you can have these draft picks like the Cleveland Browns. Boy, they got all these draft picks, and then they didn't do well with those draft picks. That's where I would get nervous, even with Miami. It feels like they may have something there with their head coach, Brian Flores, and they played hard for him. They got rid of their big ticket items there. Now what are you going to do with the draft? So I understand, sort of this scenario with a lot of these teams, but just because you got great, a lot of draft picks doesn't mean you're going to have a great football team.
That's true. But I do think Miami's tough because of the market, but Flores is a really good coach, and Chris Greer is a really good evaluator. And so I think they have the right people in place to try to put it together. You're picking at 5. And maybe you get Tua Tagovailoa at that spot if he medically checks out. And then you've got 2 more picks, later in the first round. This is an opportunity as an organization to turn things around. And the Raiders are in the same place.
But would you rather have the Bengals' future or the Dolphins' future?
I would rather have the Dolphins' future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because of the people making the decisions and knowing that the people in Miami want to win, and they want to spend money, and they want to do the right things. And you've got 3 first-round picks.
We're talking to Todd McShay's latest mock draft 2.0, now available on ESPN+. If Tua was healthy.
Oh, it would be a great debate. It would be a great debate, Dan. I mean, it really would be. I personally would take Tua over Joe if there was no medical concerns, if they were both clean medically. I really would.
Okay.
I mean, he's Drew Brees from the left side. That's what he is. And who wouldn't take Drew Brees number 1 overall?
That's pretty good, yeah.
You know? He's just – but what I'm concerned about is – and what everyone in the league is concerned about, and I spent a week at the Senior Bowl talking to GMs and head coaches and scouts and everyone else and medical people. The concern is, and nobody knows, anyone who tells you that they know what the answer is right now is lying. Nobody knows how he's going to recover because he's young enough to recover, but this is an injury that it could take a while, and it could also 6-7 years down the road, it could be degenerative. So is he going to be the same quick twitch athlete that he was at Alabama when he was playing at the highest level? And is he able to be healthy and available? Availability. We always talk about that. It's the most important ability. But if he does get back to that, you're talking about one of the best quarterback prospects we've seen in the last 5-6 years coming out of the draft, in terms of accuracy, efficiency, and in today's game, just quickly processing, knowing where to go with the football, and being able to move around and create passing windows. Drew Brees is the perfect comp for him, but is he going to get back to that? Because the hip is just such a big concern.
I'll leave you with this question. The team between Detroit and New York that may move down to allow somebody to go up and get Tua? Because it feels like it's been Miami that was going to get Tua. And nobody, of course, is going to play their cards and show you their cards, but is somebody moving up to get somebody?
Well, I think since he's going to sit at home, I think they should and just take Joe Burrow. I think at 2, the Redskins are just going to take Chase Young, and that's exactly what they should do.
Yep.
He's the best player in this year's draft. Then Detroit would be the team to me if there was interest from, let's say, the Dolphins at 5, the Chargers at 6, the Panthers at 7, even going all the way down to, I don't know, the Colts at 13, the Buccaneers at 14. I think if you're the Lions, you're not looking to draft a quarterback, and I don't think that they need to at this point. I think that number 3 spot is the most interesting because you can get ahead of the Dolphins and you can go basically line yourself up to get Tua if the medical report is right and that's the guy you believe in. And the other thing is, I'm not a huge Justin Herbert fan, but I've talked to enough general managers and head coaches in the league that really like the Oregon quarterback because of his size and his ability to be developed and his intelligence and everything that he brings to the table. There are some teams that really like him, and I think you know how it goes. All 3 of these guys are going to be off the board in the top 10 when it's all said and done.
A lot of time before then, though. That's the fun part of all of this. You got a few more mock drafts, don't you?
Yeah, Kuiper keeps adding. I think we're going to have like 9.0 at some point. He would do a mock draft every single day. He drives me nuts.
I think you guys should put money in a pool, like $5,000.
Okay.
And most wins, like $5,000 for charity. Most correct picks in the first round. So make it interesting, where there's something attached to it.
That's a great idea. We're going to do that.
Here you go. Stuart Scott.
I get right. All right. We'll pick our own charities.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. Done.
Okay.
That's the best idea I've heard all week.
There you go. That's all I do is give. Thank you. Thank you, Todd.
Take care, Dan.
That's Todd McShay.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.